Douala, economic capital of Cameroon. And go on to your favorite bilingual program, which is dedicated to the review of striking headlines in the papers. As usual, the program is bilingual, it is interactive. You can go to our Facebook page, My Media Prime Television, and subscribe or like the ongoing live stream of the program. You can equally drop your comments regarding some of the major headlines the papers captured today in Cameroon. Audrey Zatsa is around as usual to read the headlines for you in the French language. Bonjour Audrey.
Bonjour à toi Lasha Kingsley, bonjour à vous fidèles téléspectateurs, et à la une du journal essentiel par lequel nous commençons ce matin, l'opinion condamne plus vite que le tribunal criminel spécial, d'après le journal. Alors que des poursuites judiciaires sont engagées contre certains gestionnaires des fonds Covid-19, des attaques, des défenses et des contre-attaques, des mises en cause inondent les médias. Résultat, le tribunal criminel spécial n'a encore prononcé aucune inculpation, mais l'opinion a déjà ouvert les portes de Kondengui à des centaines de vrais et faux suspects. Vous lirez donc le dossier spécial à la page 3 et 6 du journal L'Essentiel que vous retrouverez en kiosque ce matin. À la suite de l'audit de la Chambre des comptes portant sur la gestion des fonds Covid-19 au Cameroun, mutation ce matin annonce un nouvel audit en perspective dans le pays. Selon notre confrère ce matin, le contrôle supérieur de l'État enquête sur la gestion du patrimoine public de 2016 à 2021. Un nouveau scandale d'État en cours de téléchargement, écrit le journal. Les précisions sont à retrouver dans les colonnes du journal en sa page 5 de son édition de ce jour. D'après la nouvelle expression, il y a un an que le journaliste Samuel Ouazizi mourait entre les mains de l'armée. Le journaliste, selon nos confrères, avait été interpellé à Boya et gardé au secret depuis un an. Malgré la promesse du gouvernement camerounais, son corps n'a toujours pas été restitué à sa famille et aucune enquête n'a abouti malgré l'indignation des Camerounais face à cette nouvelle. Nos confrères sont donc allés à la quête de la vérité et auraient recueilli des révélations dans le sud-ouest et plus encore concernant cette affaire. Toujours dans le même journal, médias privés marginalisés, le journal renseigne qu'il n'y a que la chaîne nationale qui bénéficie d'un traitement de faveur alors que les médias privés restent abandonnés dans la précarité. C'est dans la page 4 que vous aurez ample information à ce sujet. À Babadjou, un gendarme en garde à vue aurait accompli sa sale besogne dans un bureau de l'unité de gendarmerie de la localité. C'est également ce qu'on retrouve dans les comme information dans la nouvelle expression en page 2 de ce matin. Les fidèles de Paul Biya sont au tribunal. Je parle bien sûr du journal Essingang, au moment où une partie du gouvernement affronte les auditions ouvertes au tribunal criminel spécial à peur dans le ventre pour malversation des fonds spéciaux alloués à la lutte contre le Covid-19 au Cameroun. C'est donc ce qu'on peut lire dans le journal Essingang ce matin. Le tri-hebdomadaire ajoute que par ailleurs, que d'autres par contre plus sereins et dans la droite ligne de leur mission, à l'instar d'Henri Eyebe Aïssi, Jacques Famundongo, Mbargangele, Laurent Esso, Betty Assomo poursuivent sans haine ni faiblesse les tâches pour lesquelles ils ont été nommés. Voilà, mesdames, messieurs, pour les tabloïds en langue française ou en français. Place aux tabloïds en anglais avec toi, Lasha Kingsley.
Merci Audrey Zatsa. Let's kickstart this morning with the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post this morning is interested in the alleged embezzlement of COVID-19 funds in the country. According to the paper, alleged embezzlement infects government's COVID-19 fight. The paper says since an audit report indicting top government officials went viral, the concerned officials have seemingly deviated their energy to preparing their defense at the level of the Special Criminal Tribunal. Most of them have already been grieved at the set court in Yaoundé, the political capital of Cameroon. The paper says for weeks now, government's efforts in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic seems to have gone comatose, according to the paper, following allegations that some of the money borrowed from the International Monetary Fund (IMF) was pilfered by some top government officials weeks back to report attributed to the audit bench of the Supreme Court of Cameroon, which indicted several top government officials of mismanaging funds meant to fight COVID-19 in the country, went viral on the social media. There had previously been another document that also went viral, which displayed the various announcements, or the various amounts rather, some in several billions of francs CFA allocated to each ministry within the context of the coronavirus pandemic fight in the country. Still, in the light of the COVID-19, we are equally told that some government officials have been greeted already at the court, the criminal tribunal, special criminal tribunal court in Yaoundé. Ally says Kamto giving up on taking over power in the country. Close ally of Professor Maurice Kamto has revealed recently that the MRC political leader, he has finally given up on power, taking over power in the country. Professor Maurice Kamto, who claims to have won the recent elections in the country, the last presidential elections in Cameroon, declaring himself as President Élu, has seemingly given up efforts of taking over power in the country. Those were revelations made by his close ally recently. Still, in the Guardian Post newspaper, custom impounds over 14,000 unlicensed face masks in Douala, the economic capital of Cameroon. The said individual was caught with 14,000 unlicensed face masks without any license, which was issued by the agency, the standards and the quality agency ANO, which has to ensure that or ensure the quality of products being imported into the country. Let's take you to the Mongo division of the Littoral region, where alleged child trafficker pretending to be a mad person has been arrested by elements of the national security forces in that part of the country. In the west region of the country, a gendarmerie officer, we are told, has been arrested for allegedly raping 9-year-old girl to near death in that part of the country. We are on to Emergence newspaper. Emergence this morning is revisiting the protest staged by locals of Bamenda 3 subdivision in Mezam division of the northwest region of Cameroon. The population, according to the paper, angry over Ambazonia fighters' atrocities allegedly being committed or perpetrated on them in that subdivision in the northwest region. They defiled ghost town or traditional ghost towns Monday to march to the Nkwenfong's palace to air their grievances. More details in this edition of Emergence newspaper. We end with Cameroon Tribune, which is focusing on efforts of the government to combat road accidents in the country. We are told that a dozen of councils across the national territory, especially those along national roads and highways, have been empowered with some resources by the Ministry of Transport of Cameroon to help curb the rate of accidents along the major highways. These resources handed to the councils. The council will have to ensure the impact on campaigns or mechanism that will help prevent road accidents along national roads in the country. And we are talking about 4 new births registered at Krachet in Yaoundé. We are told that the 2 new girls and the 2 boys were born yesterday, June 1, 2021, in the reproductive health hospital in Yaoundé. This brings to total 206 children born through in vitro fertilization in the renowned health structure put in place by the presidential couple of Cameroon. You can get more details on pages 6 and 17 of this edition of the National Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune. Thank you for watching, televiewers. We are back to continue with the discussion in the studio, and we are receiving KEDIA MALANGFE, Robert, who is of course an active member of the ruling CPDM party. here in the littoral region of the country. KEDIA, good morning once again and welcome.
Good morning to you. Good morning to all our viewers. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
How is the CBDN faring this morning?
As usual, everything is under control and the government is moving very vibrantly as we pass our time organizing our days,
And the minister or are being accused by Isingan of being abandoned to themselves. The Isingan described them as faithfuls of President Paul Biya. What do you have to say about these big fishes, let's call them that way, who have been accused of probably mismanaging monies that were put at their disposal to fight COVID-19?
No, what I got from the newspaper is that these names you just call are those that are loyal and they are doing their good job. You have somebody like Martin Bargangeli that have been there to ensure that the forces of law and order, the police is well managed, the respect of human rights and other aspects. One thing I like about him is that he has always sanctioned all policemen that have always violated the human right, because many people think that when policemen are being recruited, you don't recruit their consciences, you recruit them based on their physical and educative qualification. So when the bad eggs come in and they carry out barbaric act, then it's good to sanction them. Yes, even a saint, even a saint with good morality can change the next day. So that is why sanction is always ready. Talking about Jacques Famndongo, we know what he has done at the level of education, which we are today proud. When you look at Cameroon, among all other African countries, you look at our educational system, it's thanks to him. Even at the level of, even in America, we talk about America, we have more than 25 million unemployed people. So the problem of unemployment is a world problem and not a continental or Cameroonian problem. But as the head of state always say, a lot is being done to create this job, especially at the private sector and the public sector.
Okay, KEDIA.
Non pas des dossiers sales.
Parlons des dossiers sales. Si une personne a un dossier sale, ça devait être au tribunal spécial. Donc si une personne n'a pas un dossier au tribunal spécial, on ne peut pas dire qu'il a un dossier sale. Comme moi et toi, on ne peut pas dire qu'on a un dossier sale parce qu'on n'a aucun dossier là-bas. Et on n'a aucune plainte là-bas, donc on ne peut pas dire qu'on a un dossier sale, je pense.
Ok. Revenons sur l'affaire que renseigne la nouvelle expression. C'est une rocambolesque affaire justement de viol parlant du gendarme qui aurait violé une petite fille de 13 ans. J'ai envie de vous poser la question, comment comprendre qu'une personne qui est censée protéger les populations en arrive à ce point?
C'est un problème national, je ne veux pas regarder ça au niveau des gendarmeries ou au niveau des policiers, mais c'est un problème national, ça arrive. On a les pasteurs qui font les mêmes choses, on a les avocats qui font les mêmes choses, on a les prêtres qui le font, on a les tout. Donc dans tous les métiers, il y a les gens qui ont les gens qui ont cette mentalité, que leur moralité nous fait demander les questions, mais ce qui est important, c'est que si c'est la vérité, la justice va le frapper, parce qu'au Cameroun, on ne joue pas. Si on frappe le secrétaire général de l'État, on frappe les ministres des Finances qui sont en prison aujourd'hui, je ne pense pas que les gendarmes seraient un problème que la justice ne va pas le frapper.
Personne pour attraper l'autre alors?
Pardon?
Personne pour attraper l'autre.
Non.
Vous dites que c'est dans tous les domaines, les pasteurs...
So are you encouraging things like that?
No, totally, don't get me wrong. I am decrying that in all domains of work, we have people that will always carry out barbaric acts. Okay. We have journalists that are like your profession. We have journalists that when they are going for coverage, you get them. No, I will say it. We have journalists that when they are going for occasion, you see them singing about gombo rather than what they are going to do. So in all professions, we have people that always do what they are doing. But we call on morality for people to Christians to know that they have moral values to keep, and we call on all Cameroonians to respect the Constitution. A teenager of 13 years to experience such, I think that's one of the most barbaric violation for a woman to experience. More to that, a child of 13 years. It is wrong at the level of the religion, at the level of the tradition, at the level of the Constitution. In fact, it is wrong at the level of humanity. So I believe the court of law will proceed this gendarme and ensure that justice take it right course if he is guilty.
Okay, KEDIA, let's go to Cameroon Tribune. This morning, the paper dedicated its front page to the recent move taken by the Ministry of Transport of Cameroon, empowering some councils along some national routes or highways in the country with some resources to help curb the numerous accidents that we have in the country. And in your opinion, as a young man, do you really think the problem is at the level of empowering the council? Is it not the routes that are supposed to be constructed? Because if you look at the resources given to the council, I bet you it's not really meant for the reconstruction of some of those routes, but to put in place certain mechanisms that will stop the numerous accidents that we have along our major highways.
What you are saying is 100% correct, but don't also forget that we are in the process of decentralization, where these mayors need to participate in the management, the construction of roads in their municipality. So this level of decentralization, we see a massive collaboration between the mayors and the Minister of Transport to ensure that all the executions of contract are being put and being followed in place. Because at time when the minister is in Yaoundé, he gives out a contract for road construction. The mayor is the one that is in the field that need to really actually supervise this work. But at times when
mayors given the pass, you actually do that.
And that is what you just said, so that the minister have done. You just said the minister has done that.
Is the pass supposed to be given by the minister or the assembly?
Now we should understand this aspect. A mayor is being elected by the people, but he's not a professional in certain domain. That is why we have the minister and their delegates in all municipalities. Like for instance, the mayor of Bonaberi, he has been elected, but he won't tell me that he has experience at the level of agriculture, transportation, all these things. That is why they have this delegation, that they are professionals in the field, that they collaborate with.
Don't you think the Ministry of Transport should be concentrating or working in synergy with that of Public Works to ensure that the routes are constructed, rather than saying that it's giving some or dedicating some resources to...
The ministry is respecting the Constitution when it comes to decentralization. That is it. The minister have no choices. Okay, the wish of the people, they want decentralization.
Let's take, for example, probably the KEDIA council, for example, because KEDIA is along National Route number 3, where we have this numerous accident. Are you telling me that the KEDIA council, the council that is along that route, will be constructing or trying to rehabilitate the Yaoundé-Douala highway? Is that what you are saying?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that KEDIA is an urban city council, yes, and so they have powers to do what they have to do. But the idea about this is that the government is a body. There is collaboration between the Minister of Transport and all other ministries like public work. Everything is there. But no, the government is a group. All of them work. All ministers to collaborate together to get one target. Now what they have is, we have mayors that have been elected by the people, and the people want effective decentralization. That is why it is complex, especially here in Cameroon and in Africa. When people demand for effective decentralization and the minister now decide to collaborate with the mayor financially, people tend now to say it's a misplaced priority, that he's supposed to be collaborating with the minister of public contract or public work. If he abandons now the mayor and collaborate with the minister of public work, many people will say, no, there is effective decentralization, he's supposed to collaborate with mayor. So you see that it becomes very complex.
Okay. We are pretty sure that bad roads are not the only reasons why accidents occur in the country, and we equally have reckless drivers. What according to you, what can really be done to ensure that these regular drivers, or what sanction can be levied on them to ensure that maybe they are more careful on the road?
Il y a un musicien qui avait chanté La route ne tue pas, mais c'est nous qui tuons. With that, you understand that we have problems of bad roads in Cameroon. I will not want to dangle on that, but we are talking about which aspect is the major cause of accident. Firstly, the problem goes to vehicles, because if you look at most of the accidents we had, they are that of trailer, what we mostly call camions, because mostly they are not checked, brakes are not verified, engines are not verified. So when you look at that aspect, you see that it's at the level of the driver. Some of them are irresponsible to have a rest. So I think if such a thing is to be handled, firstly, we need to really work on the level of morality, because we're talking about gendarmes with bad attitude. Now we are talking about drivers too with bad attitude. What we need is moral value that needs to be impacted in the people, to have consciousness. Let the driver know that, hey, I'm feeling sleepy, I don't need to drive and risk the life of Cameroonians. That is the first thing that we need to have among ourselves to be our nation. Then secondly, the second aspect also we have to do at the level of fine, which I believe it is being done at the level of many highways, like for instance Douala to Yaoundé. There are cameras put in place and policemen that are even in the nearby bushes to check if drivers are on high speed, to give out
we see how accidents still occurring. It's not effective.
No, we are talking about aspect to put
many people are
to ensure that this accident should reduce.
Why is it that the government is not focusing on bad routes? They are focusing on other solutions that will not really help go.
Please, I recognize that we have problems of road in Cameroon, but the cause is not because of the bad road. I have a proof to give you. Why should there be limited accident at the Babaju Bamenda road where we know it is bad, but there are limited accidents there? But Douala Yaoundé, there are much more accidents there with good roads. So will you tell me now that it's because of roads? It's at the level of morality, drivers, consciousness. That's where the problem is. I am saying that we have problems of roads, yes, but the major cause cannot be because of roads, because if the major cause was because of road, Bamenda Babaju will have much more accident than Douala Yaoundé, because Douala Yaoundé have good roads. But you see that the reverse is true.
Drivers in Bamenda Babaju, they are more
careful, is that what they are saying?
Something of that sort. Okay. So those are the various aspects that we need to see. However, we pledge of the government of Cameroon and the people and those in charge of transport, so that they could put a lot of effort to ensure that the Bamenda Babaju road should be constructed. Okay. We are actually going through a hard time.
Okay, we have come to the end of the program. We wanted to talk about the protest by population of Quen, the population in Bamenda 3 subdivision, who decided to march to the Fons Palace to denounce Ambazonia fighters.
Yes, it's their fundamental human right to decry what they have decried, and to talk about the killings. It was just because of a young man that was in a bar, was kidnapped for the first time. He paid the ransom, and the second time he started criticizing, and he was killed. So you realize that the so-called Ambazonia fighters that are out to protect the people are instead out to kidnap the people, torture them, rape them, take people's daughters and keep in the bushes as their wife. And the pain and torment has become so high that we see villagers coming out to demonstrate that they don't want their presence.
We've seen villages they suffered after that. They came back for them, and some of them were dead. So
really?
Those people who stood up for their rights, which means that the government did not put in place enough security for the people denouncing Ambazonia. How far are we sure these people?
That's why we are calling for the collaboration between the people and the forces of law and order. That is what we need now. Why I would like to also take this opportunity to talk for some goodwill parents to talk with their children that have picked up arms. The parents are independent; they are not responsible for the actions of their children. but we still call on their
So what are
indulgences.
your people doing? CPDM people, what are they doing to
CPDM is a political party. You wanted to talk about the
We
government.
have come to the end of the Thank you so much for coming in.
All right, it's a
Thank
pleasure.
you for watching Televiewers. The program was produced by Christain. Tebong for presentation. We've been Audrey, Zatsa, myself, Lasha, Kingsley. Tomorrow is another day. Bye-bye.